What the hell happened to my credibility? Cam Harris, Joey B, Rachel Levine. I miss my old familiar friends. Back when Rachel was a man. Everywhere you look, everywhere my ratings are dropping due to my lack of credibility. Oh, the pathetic pandering continues for Jake the Butt Bongo Tapper. It seems like Jake Tapper is pleading with Uncle Casey to be nominated for the 3rd annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards. How many times? How many times in the span of 31 days can you be an embarrassing failure? We have not seen failure on this level since Bomani Jones, the inspiration for the term huge embarrassing failure. We haven't seen failure of this magnitude since Bomani Jones was collecting woke welfare from ESPN and HBO simultaneously. Bomani Jones, he is one of very few who managed to not draw ratings while having multiple shows on multiple networks. But Jake Tapper, he is driven. Jake Tapper seems to be motivated to wear the prestigious crown of failure. You know, in every movie, every TV show, there is a main character and a supporting cast. The purpose of the supporting cast is just like it sounds. They are there to support. But the main character, they are the stars. The stars are responsible for carrying the show. If they underperform, if they lack the charisma to draw an audience, the project is going to fail. It's the same thing in sports. Oklahoma City Thunder, they are a primary example. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, not to be confused with the weird Shannon Sharpe. Hey, it's me, Shay. Not to be confused with the grown man who, for reasons unknown, still refers to himself as Shay. In Oklahoma City, SGA is the star. He is supported by a strong group of role players. Same thing with the Pacers. If Tyrese Halliburton has a bad game, Pacers are likely to lose. He had a bad game the other night, Pacers lost. The supporting cast in Minnesota, they played their asses off in Game 4. It was their best performance of the series, but Anthony Edwards had a bad game. The Wolves lost. The role players are not responsible for carrying the team. It's the responsibility of the role players to support the star. It's the star's responsibility to carry the team and win the game. Same thing in cable news. Every cable news network has a couple of stars and a large supporting cast to support them. Main stars at Fox News, Sean Hannity, Jesse Waters. MSNBC had Rachel Maddow until she decided to emulate Howard Stern by never showing up to work. Like Howie, Rach was never allergic to the money, but over time, she developed a severe allergen to the actual work that it takes to earn the money. At the Cemetery News Network, the stars, if you can even call them that, the stars at CNN are Jake Tapper and Caitlyn Collins. Katie Roo! Katie Roo! Well, KC, what about Wolf Blitzer? Woof, woof, woof! I know Wolf has been starring in Purina commercials, but at his advanced age, he's just no longer a star in cable news. At CNN, it is the responsibility of Jake Tapper and the girl named Rue to elevate the network. Now, to his credit, the Bongo Tapper has been trying. I don't know what the hell Rue's been doing lately other than not drawing an audience. I haven't heard a damn thing about Caitlyn Collins in weeks. Maybe she joined Larry O'Connell from MSNBC and traveled to Ireland to fertilize Rose O'Donnell's garden. Rose might be open to Rue fertilizing her garden, but I highly doubt she's interested in Larry. While Rue has been seemingly hiding from embarrassing failure, Jake Tapper has been embracing it. He's appearing on MSNBC. He's agreeing to be publicly humiliated by Megyn Kelly. He was interviewed by Piers Morgan. Basically, Jake Tapper has been making appearances on shows that actually have an audience. Besides MSNBC, of course, who is struggling to maintain the AI that's been programmed to watch the network. Over the last few weeks, Jake Tapper has been begging someone, anyone, to buy his book and watch as he polishes the turd on CNN. He has been working tirelessly to promote himself and the network, and now the results are in. The fruits of his labor have been revealed, and imagine my surprise when I found out the end result was huge, embarrassing failure. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel is in the description below. Today on the second channel, going to be talking about the latest scandal with Zion Williamson. Even though I question the legitimacy of these latest claims against Zion, it really doesn't matter. At minimum, Zion Williamson is once again guilty of having poor judgment. A lot of people in New Orleans want Zion traded. And look, I get it. I understand the Zion fatigue. This dude has been a massive disappointment. But I'll explain why the Pelicans don't really have a choice here. I'll explain why the Pelicans are essentially stuck with Zion. So if you haven't already, click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. Supposedly, Jake Tapper's book, Original Sin, which should have been titled The Betrayal of Johnny B. Biden, because that is what Jake Tapper did. He betrayed his fearless leader. He has been pandering to normal people. He thought if he finally told the truth, after 4 years of lying, if he finally told the truth, he thought normal people would forgive and forget, and they would not only buy his book, they would also watch his dump on CNN. Unfortunately for Jake Tapper, it was another swing and a miss. Headline at something called Showbiz 411. Jake Tapper tapped out. Anti-Biden book first week sales are a bust after nonstop shilling on CNN. Look, I've never heard of Showbiz 411, so I don't know if it's a reliable source. Supposedly, Jake Tapper was #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, but that don't mean shit. I've never heard of Showbiz 411, but I trust them over the New York Times. But according to Showbiz 411, the Bongo Tapper sold around 54,000 copies of his book in his first week. Well, KC, that sounds great! Jemele Hill only sold 5,000 copies of her fictional autobiography in the last 5 years. Jake Tapper's book is a huge success. Hold the celebration, Sparky. You can't claim something is a success by comparing it to Smelly Jemele. Jemele Hill is the face of failure. I mean, look at this face. Does this look like someone enjoying mainstream success? Hell, to me, it looks like Jemele Hill just inhaled a fresh fart. We can't compare Jake Tapper to Smelly Jemele because their books are in 2 different categories. Jake Tapper wrote a nonfiction book while Jemele Hill's autobiography was purely fictional. A more appropriate comparison for Jake Tapper, it would be comparing him to Bob Woodward. Bob Woody wrote a book titled Fear, Trump in the White House, Fear, Trump in the White House. Woody sold over 1 million copies in his first week. Now, of course, Bob Woodward, he did have an advantage. He's one of the most famous reporters at the Washington Post, a publication that people actually read. It's not hard to figure out why Jake Tapper is struggling to sell books. For the most part, he has been promoting the book on CNN. No one's buying the book because no one's watching this dump of a network. Throughout the month of May, Jake Tapper drew the lowest ratings in the last 10 years, 525,000 viewers. It's not hard to figure out why. You see, Here's the problem for Jake Tapper. If you're a serious journalist, which Jake Tapper claims to be, this is why you remain neutral. This is why you don't choose sides. And if you do choose sides, this is why it is critical to choose the right side. Years ago, Jake Tapper chose a side. He chose to ignore his eyes, which were enhanced by powerful spectacles. If anyone should have saw the incompetence of Johnny B. Biden, it should have been Jake Tapper. His glasses are so powerful, they're capable of seeing through the polish on just about any turd. But Jake Tapper chose to ignore it. Jake Tapper decided that it was more important to be accepted by his pretend friends in the mainstream media. It was more important to be invited to the Butt Bongo Festival than to be embraced by normal people. With the release of this book, Jake Tapper has essentially betrayed John Biden and the people who support him. Naturally, they're not going to watch his show, and normal people aren't watching the show for obvious reasons. It sucks. Jake Tapper's been lying to them for years now. Why in the hell would they trust and support him now? For the past month, Jake Tapper has been working tirelessly to be nominated for the Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards. But as hard as he's worked, as much effort as he has put in to be a failure, he was still unable to defeat the newest face of failure. Ironically enough, Kaitlan Collins, she is such a natural, there was no additional effort required to maintain her failure. Throughout the month of May, the Rue averaged 452,000 viewers in prime time. I don't think I need to explain how bad that performance is. I have been telling you guys for months. Hell, I've been telling you guys for 2 years. This is not sustainable. Caitlyn Collins anchoring the primetime lineup at CNN, it's not sustainable. She is literally tanking the entire lineup. It's not working. We have 2 years of data that proves the girl named Rue isn't resonating with viewers. Millions of people have told CNN, "Get Rue off my TV." Jake Tapper is outperforming Rue in the middle of the afternoon. 2 years ago, I told you guys Kaitlan Collins does not have the charisma to carry a show in prime time. I know she's young. I know she's easy on the eyes, but this is not ESPN where you can put Molly Caron beside Stephen A. Smith and give her the illusion of success. Kaitlan Collins is on her own, and she doesn't have the charisma to build an audience in primetime cable news. It's really that simple. But give me your thoughts on this. Jake Tapper spends the entire month promoting himself and his book, and it ends in huge embarrassing failure. Kaitlan Collins' ratings are so low, she is damn near competing with News Nation and Chris Cuomo. Hey, it's me, Chrissy C! What is the problem here? Are Jake Tapper and Rue the problem, or is CNN just a dying brand? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.